And I don't mean it disrespectfully when I say they just don't beat Jaron Ennis. In fact, that style is absolutely tailor-made for Boots.
Do you feel like Boots belongs on the top pound for pound right now?
Not yet. I don't think so. Not right now. I just, like you said, we have so many people right now, and
well, because Vergil loves fighting tough guys. He doesn't run from anybody. He doesn't shy away from the tough matches. So,
and my dad's like, "Hey, they're probably gonna announce it like within the next few days." I'm like, "Oh fuck," and then it didn't happen.
It's the fight every boxing fan has been waiting for. Vergil Ortiz Jr. versus Boots Ennis, two undefeated stars heading straight for a showdown.
You can try and downplay it, but I don't give a fuck. Jaron Boots Ennis is the best fighter in boxing today. I keep saying about Vergil, I respect those guys. I love Robert Garcia. The same thing will happen to Vergil Ortiz. It might take a few rounds longer, but he will absolutely slice him up.
But why is this dream matchup caught in a web of accusations, denials, and mixed stories? It's turned into a fierce war of words, with both sides claiming the other is avoiding the fight. The more you dig, the messier it gets, revealing who might actually be dodging and who's finally being exposed.
Who's your dream fight? Who do you see yourself having a mega fight with in your career that's gonna, transcend you to the next level?
Any of the champions, Vergil Ortiz, it's a super fight. Any of the champions at 154, I'm here to make my mark, and it's starting this Saturday. For me, my legacy is to be, collect them belts, be multiple weight division champion, undisputed at 54 if possible, and keep doing it at each and every weight class, 154, 60, and maybe 68. That's my goal, and to fight these top guys. And it's gonna happen, one by one, we're gonna bring them.
The latest drama came from Oscar de la Hoya. At the final press conference for Vergil Ortiz's intense clash with Erickson Lubin, the Golden Boy promoter issued a public challenge. He wasn't just hyping up his fighter. He was sending a pointed message to Boots Ennis and his promoter Eddie Hearn, who confirmed they would be watching ringside.
if you go back to, if you rewind a bit, you remember when Boots Ennis fought and Eddie was like, let's fight Vergil now, and they were on TV on camera saying this and that, and then right after they were off camera, it's like nothing happened. We were calling out Boots Ennis and they didn't want to do it. They wanted a tune-up fight, this and that. I understand all that. As a fighter, yes, you want tune-up fights, but come on, how many tune-up fights do you need?
De La Hoya insisted their presence wasn't a threat, but a mistake. He claimed that after seeing Vergil in action, they'd get scared and could be the ones to back out of the fight.
Vergil Ortiz is ready at 154, and I'm glad, like I said, Boots Ennis is coming down to watch his fight. I'm actually really glad he is. But then again, I am afraid that Boots Ennis is going to see Vergil, and he's going to tell Eddie, I don't want Vergil next. Let me have another tune-up fight.
But De La Hoya didn't stop there. He revealed a shocking twist, a claim that flips the story on who's really holding things up. According to him, the mega fight was nearly finalized. He said the deal was practically done, but at the last moment, Boots' team allegedly pressed pause, citing a need for a tune-up fight.
Look, first, the fight was gonna get made, then Boots needed a tune-up fight, and another tune-up fight, I believe. Vergil's always been ready. He's always been there waiting for whoever. That's who Vergil is. No, he doesn't shy away from any challenge. And the fact that they're gonna come down to see Vergil Ortiz, it tells you everything. He's a superstar. Everybody wants to watch him. Even Eddie Hearn from the UK wants to fly down, and Boots Ennis from Philadelphia wants to see it front row in person and be in awe.
This accusation points to Ennis, not Ortiz, as the one hesitating. Yet this isn't the first time public claims have stalled the fight. Back in 2024, the story was reversed. Boots Ennis' father and trainer, Boots Ennis, went public first, saying Ortiz's team had been offered the fight and that Ortiz had flatly refused.
Just to make it clear on Vergil Ortiz, we sat in a room, me, Oscar de la Hoya, Eric Gomez, and the top DAZN execs in America. We talked about how a deal would work with those two fighters, and we agreed on a deal. We went away, we signed a new deal with Boots. Part of that deal within the contract was the deal that we agreed with Golden Boy and DAZN to fight Vergil Ortiz. Boots signed it. Now, we didn't hear anything back. We told them we're going to fight in October. They said they're going to fight in November, and we haven't heard anything back.
At that point, the story seemed simple.
On Tuesday, Eric Gomez called me and he said, look, I just wanted to let you know we're fighting Lubin. After that, we want to get the Boots fight made. I said, well, we're in. I don't, you know. So I take their word for it, and I truly believe Oscar De La Hoya wants to make great fights. But that fight is done on our side, on all the terms that we agreed with Golden Boy. That fight for me, although it doesn't carry an official world championship, which is what we want at 54, is one of the best fights in boxing.
Golden Boy responded immediately and fiercely. Oscar De La Hoya dismissed the claim with a single word on social media and warned that soon everyone would know who actually declined the fight.
But genuinely, you do feel he's a very skilled fighter.
Oh, yes. Yeah, maybe top 15 for sure.
Right.
Maybe not top 10.
That's
You
what I
did say
said.
that.
Yeah.
So let's get into that then. How true is that there was a real offer made to Boots,
Yeah.
and he turned it down? And could you talk about like what was offered to him?
When I went to Riyadh the first time in November, and I met up with Turkey, I went to his his compound, his farm or whatever it was, and they said that more than likely I was going to fight Boots soon. I was like, oh shit, okay, we're finally doing this. You know, Oscar was there and everyone was there, and I was just like, okay, cool.
At
This
154, obviously.
yeah, because I can't move out.
Vergil Ortiz Jr. also stepped in. He publicly stated, "This is the first I'm hearing of this. I didn't turn anything down." That created a standoff, leaving fans unsure who was telling the truth.
So when Turkey and those guys said that you were going to fight Boots, was there a number thrown out?
There was no number. There was no number at all. The only thing that I knew was that, okay, this is a real possibility now. Like, Then I think the next week, I was at home and my dad's like, hey, they're probably gonna announce it. And like within the next few days, I'm like, oh fuck, we're fighting. All right, so I'm like getting mentally prepared and all this shit. And then it didn't happen. That's when I got word that he turned it down. But no, I'm not gonna say he turned it down. That's just what I heard, you know, because I don't like being on the other end of that.
What Vergil revealed next changed everything. For a long time, Ortiz's limited activity made fans think he was avoiding tough opponents. He finally explained his side. His absence wasn't avoidance. He was battling a life-threatening illness. Ortiz disclosed he was dealing with rhabdomyolysis, a serious condition that endangered both his career and life. This wasn't a fighter dodging a challenge, it was a man fighting to survive.
As far as the negotiation, I'm not a manager, right? So I don't take part in any of that. All I know is that we can start from the beginning. 147, you know, we're both upcoming prospects or whatever. Fight doesn't happen. I always felt like it was gonna happen at 154 anyways. All right, I move up to 154, past rhabdomyolysis. I had to get in a couple of tune-up fights because I just came back from a life-threatening illness. And we really wanted to make sure that I was even still okay to fight because that's how bad it was. So I got those fights out of the way. Then we fight Bohachuk, then we fight Madrimov. Jaron Ennis got a world title at 147, or a couple of them, I think. Good for him. He has a lot of momentum going his way. You know, if I had that much momentum, I would have went straight to the big fight at 154, if I'm being honest. I'm just that kind of guy, I guess. But when it was time to say yes to fight, I was the only one that said yes. So now you have a lot of people that were saying that I was ducking at 147 when there was no fight to be offered or anything like that. The only times that the fight has ever been offered to either of us, I have said yes. So when people are saying ducking, when they align that word with me, I'm not talking about if they want to align it with him, they should. I don't care about that. But they want to align it with me, then they can't say that because I said yes.
Then that's when Vergil delivered a powerful statement. In a recent interview, he laid out the timeline clearly. He explained his recovery, the tune-up fights needed to rebuild his body, and then revealed the key fact. When he was finally ready, he was the only one who said yes. This alone changes the entire narrative.
Vergil,
We know that Eddie Hearn and Jaron Boots Ennis are going to be ringside at your fight on Saturday. And as you know, you've been in talks with these guys for a while now, pretty much all this year, some of last year, and the fight still hasn't been made. Do you think it's finally going to happen next? And what are you going to show them at ringside?
We'll see. You know, I've already said yes. I mean, that's all I can do, right? So we'll see. We'll see. It's really not up to me, I guess.
And from your standpoint then, what is the biggest barrier to this fight happening? Why hasn't it happened yet? Because like you said, you've said yes, so.
I mean, I don't know. There's really nothing else that I can do at this point, right? So the barrier, it's somewhere on their side. So it's whether it's someone, something, or some amount of money, I don't know. That's completely on them.
Vergil insists that when it was time to sign, he was ready, suggesting Ennis's side went silent. So what is Boots' strategy in this high-stakes promotional game?
No one in the 154-pound division is going to touch it. If you look at the finish and the combinations, the hand speed's blistering, the power is frightening. Lima was like, you know, and it was just, I just wanted a statement. And that was a statement of all statements. But we got to prove it with the resume. He's 28 years old. He's 10 years younger than Terence Crawford. We haven't even touched the surface yet. This is the most special fighter I've ever worked with by a mile. And we are just getting started. And I can't wait for him to be in these fights. I can't wait to duke it out with Oscar and Vergil Ortiz. Oscar tweeted and said, there's only one fighter, Vergil Ortiz, in 154. Then make the fight. If you truly believe you can beat Jaron Ennis, make the fight. You talk about Tom and Jerry, talk about all this kind of stuff. He's a defensive genius, but he'll also come in and take you to pieces and knock you spark out.
The announcement that Ennis and Eddie Hearn would attend the Ortiz-Lubin fight ringside is a bold move. It's a silent, intimidating message. They are showing up in Vergil's territory, proving they are not scared, not stalling, and are coming for the winner.
I think that when you look at U.S. fights, Vergil against Boots is in the top 3. 2 in their prime American fighters, black fighter versus a Mexican fighter, Northeast fighter versus a Texas-based fighter. You got all the elements for a great super fight. It was disappointing that we didn't get it at 147. I think if Vergil beats Lubin and looks impressive, it's going to be even bigger at 154. I think that's a Vegas fight. It's a pay-per-view fight. I think that's one of the marquee fights of 2026 if Vergil can get.
In the end, there are 2 undefeated stars, 2 top promoters, and 2 very different stories.
How far can Boots go? Can he be pound for pound one of the top fighters in the world, 1, 2, or 3 at some point?
Yeah, definitely. I think he's already around there. Like, you know, he's looking to crack that top 10.
Right.
You know, with the right win, I think he'll get in there.
Right. How do you feel about him going up to 154 and maybe people want to see him and Vergil Ortiz?
I think that's the fight. I mean, you win that fight, you definitely in the top 10 to me.
Right.
You know,
for sure.
That's a young champion, a young killer just like you. That's what makes good fights. Young, hungry fighters.
Right.
That's when you know there's going to be a fight, you know?
Is D'Lane Hoya's talk of fear just hype to pressure his rival? Does Vergil's timeline, backed by his serious health battle, tell the full truth? Or is Boots' silent ringside presence the real proof of who is chasing whom?
Right.
They fighting for legacy. They fighting for that. They want that big bag. They want to be a champion. They want all that stuff. So that fight right there is probably would be like a fight of the year type fight.
Who wins?
I think Boots beats him just because Vergil he can fight, but I think he's going to be in front of him. He's going to be in front of Boots, and that's his style. Right. His tailor-made style.
The taller, longer fighter with the better defense should be favored, and that's Boots, right? Because generally, that guy wins those fights. But it's a different thing than actually going out and beating Vergil Ortiz and doing it in style. If he
Especially
fights,
in that type of manner.
Who should be the favorite in that fight, Shady?
I'm going with Boots.
Favored.
Yeah.
He should be the betting favorite.
Yes.
I think this is a genuine coin flip fight. I really do. And I think we have to remember that Vergil Ortiz has fought the much better competition.
That's true.
He beat Israel Madrimov, very quality win. Madrimov gave Crawford all he could handle.
This fight happens and Boots wins a close, tough fight. Then he is at least what we think he.
One side says they needed a tune-up. The other says I was the only one who agreed. One thing is clear, this battle won't be settled by interviews, press conferences, or ringside appearances. The truth will only come out inside the 17 by 7 foot ring.
Boots doesn't want to fight. Vergil. Boots is not going to fight Vergil next. You know, whatever they say, oh, there's a signed contract already. That's all. You know, there's Boots is not going to fight. You know, Boots is not going to fight Vergil next. You know, he's going to show up. You know, why didn't they call us up and invite us to his fight 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago? Whenever he just fought recently. You know, you come to ours, we go to yours. We promote the fight. That would have been the perfect idea to do. But you know, they want to show up. You know, and they are going to show up. That doesn't make a difference. You know, Vergil's going to do his job. But you know, that's just kind of like trying to get the media, the press to believe that they're ready for the fight. I know they're not. I know they already have a date where they already have, you know, a possible opponent already. So it's all part of the show, part of promoting the event, part of promoting his fighter, and Eddie's doing a great job doing it.
That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss our upcoming videos. Share your thoughts in the comments, stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next video.